Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was driving down Robie Street with my daughter on the weekend, and at the site of the QEII Hospital, someday, maybe, where I went to high school, there was a tent. And my daughter said to me, "Is someone living in that tent?" And I said, "Yeah, I think there is someone living in that tent." And she said, "Does the Premier know?" And I said, "I don't know. I think so." And she said, "Well, you ask him about it." And I said, "Yes." And so my question to the Premier is, will his government ensure that no Nova Scotians need to weather this winter in a tent?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member for this important question. And you can certainly assure your daughter that not only does the Premier know about it, the Premier spends a lot of time focused on this very issue, and the concerns around homelessness are shared by all Nova Scotians. Every single Nova Scotian is concerned about homelessness. We know that homelessness is a complex issue. You know, different situations, different life situations impact people in different ways. We know that there are mental health issues. We know that there are employment issues. We know there are family issues sometimes. So we know these are complex. But I want to assure the member and assure her daughter and all Nova Scotians that this government is very focused on the issue and committed to supporting every single Nova Scotian in the best possible way we can.
The Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party on her first supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, despite a rent cap, this government has presided over a 35% increase in annual rent prices. They have not closed the fixed-term lease loophole, despite the explosion of rental costs and a doubling of the number of people finding themselves homeless. They've also not implemented a permanent system of rent control that would bring stability for tenants and for landlords. Mr. Speaker, when will this government implement policies that will ensure that regular Nova Scotians can afford a place to live?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank the member opposite for the question. And the issues around the housing crisis, the issues around homelessness are very real. And so that's why we have a certain approach to that. That's why we're so focused on building more homes, building more development. We believe that the solution to a housing crisis is more housing, and that's why we've taken steps with the Housing Task Force. That's why we get our attention when we see a municipality putting up bylaws to slow down housing. We know that more housing is the answer to a housing crisis, Mr. Speaker, and we are very, very focused on that, and we will continue to be focused on making sure that we have appropriate housing stock in this province.
The Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party on her final supplementary.
So, Mr. Speaker, let's be crystal clear. Addressing the affordable housing crisis is going to be hard when this government has said that they will build exactly 0 new public housing units. It will also be difficult to build affordable housing when they won't even agree to the CMHC definition. That is housing that costs not more than 30% of a person's monthly income. But they think that giving away $22 million of a forgivable loan to build unaffordable housing is going to help this situation. It won't. Mr. Speaker, when will this government seriously address the housing crisis in this province and actually build affordable housing?
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, this is just a philosophical disagreement between two members. We know that when there is more housing, there will be more housing at various price ranges across the spectrum. You need more housing.
Order, please. Order, please. The Premier has the floor. The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you have more housing, then there'll be more housing across the spectrum of every price range, and certainly some of that will be affordable, Mr. Speaker. The answer to a housing crisis is more housing. That's why we're focused on building housing.